Hey, everybody, welcome to another episode of Streaming with Alex. And today I have a fantastic guest, a great artist who I've known quite a while and was actually one of the first people that I ever met on Instagram. So that is pretty fun. His name is, do we just want to go with Mattchee or your real name? Is that
We'll
like
go with
a
Mattchee.
hidden?
It's not a
Oh,
hidden
oh,
thing, but let's just go with Mattchee. It's good for branding.
yeah, definitely. You want to definitely want to stay on brand. Um,
Yeah, plus
but
plus it'll stop people from calling me Machete.
I must have thought that a few times. I don't know. I must have. I mean, I'm horrible with names anyway. I just have now figured out Charles Degalato's name. I kept saying Delgado like nonstop. Um, all right, so let's start out. As you guys know, if you've seen the show, we start out the show with three trivia questions, either Marvel or Star Wars, and so you can choose which one you want to do.
Uh, uh, I'm gonna do terrible at either, so let's do Star Wars.
Okay, cool. I'm horrible at trivia, and these questions are super hard anyway. So it's obsessed with Star Wars or Marvel, and it comes with a little mechanical box here, and it tells you the page to go to, and then it gives you four different answers to the questions, and you choose A, B, C, or D. And if you get it right, you get a ding, 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 and if you get it wrong, you get a horrible. So this one
All
actually
right,
doesn't work, so we're going to be running off the Marvel box because they're synced up. I'm pretty sure. So let's dive into this. Are you a big Star Wars fan?
I used to be.
Yeah.
Um, there's just too much to keep track of now.
It really is. I mean, some of the stuff they have coming out is really cool, but it's really hard when they mishandle something to kind of
Mhm.
be okay with it. But I mean,
Yeah,
some of the stuff is also really great though, like the Rebels and the Rebel tie-in and stuff. I really love it
yeah,
anyway.
yeah. I gotta catch up. Actually, we just got Disney Plus again, so
Yeah, yeah,
So I
yeah.
missed out on a lot of stuff. I watched like the first season of Mandalorian. I think that's about as much as I've gotten
Oh
from,
yeah,
from
yeah,
Disney. So I got a lot to catch up on.
yeah. I threatened to cancel Disney Plus. All the kids are grown and everything, and we have like this family chat. And I said I think I might get rid of Disney Plus, and they're all like, no, no, no. And they're all like screaming at me not to cancel it. All right. What Sten shifter made his living turning criminals over to imperial authorities in Mos Eisley? A.
Which
Tech
what?
Maor. What's that?
Can you repeat the question just so I can
What
think about it?
what Sten's shifter? I don't even know what that is. A Sten shifter made his
Okay.
living turning criminals over to imperial authorities in Mos Eisley. A.
Okay.
Tech Maor. B. Trinto Duoba. C. Merc Sunlet, or D. Labria.
I'm
Yeah,
gonna go. I'm gonna go with C because I have no idea.
C sounds good. Doctor, no, wait a minute. Merc Sunlet. And the answer is? Nope. The answer was B. Um, Brinko Duba. Yeah, I have no clue either what that was.
Yeah.
This covers the original three and the prequels too, which I don't
Just
know
those
if that.
six movies.
Yeah, it doesn't have any of the extraneous stuff, which is
Oh,
I'm okay
so
with.
there's hope for me yet.
Yeah. 1094. How many different varieties of Rosher, WROSHYR tree are there on Kashyyyk? A, more than 200, B, more than 5,000, C, more than 1,000, or D, more than 2,000?
I'm gonna go with D. I don't know what that is either. I know what Kashyyyk is.
Yeah. No, I have no. I mean, how's anyone supposed to know this? It must be
All I
like
know
in
is there's
one.
Wookiees there.
It must be. I don't know. How is anyone supposed to know this stuff?
I don't know.
You said D. You said D more than 2,000.
Yeah.
No, it wasn't. It is C, more than 1,000. Huh. So it must be between 1,000 and 2,000. That's kind of dumb.
1,999.
Yeah, yeah. 573. Okay. What was Rui Nuberi's occupation in Theed? A. He tended the royal gardens. B. He was palace sculptor. C. He was Queen Jumilala's advisory council. Or D. He taught at the university.
I'm gonna go with C.
C. He was Queen Jamiala's advisory council. No. D. D. He taught at the university. Those are just so
I
insanely
didn't.
hard. Like, how's anyone
Yeah.
ever supposed to get any of those? All right. So now that portion is done, um, so the first thing I ask is stuff about you, where you live, how old are you, stuff like that.
Okay.
Anything that you'd like to.
Well, I live in San Antonio, um, and I'm 47.
Have you always lived there?
No, I grew up in California, in the Bay
Oh,
Area, and then
oh,
moved all over California, and then we moved out to Austin, and then eventually found our way down here.
yeah, yeah. It seems like a lot of Californians go to end up in Texas.
Yeah, I
Um,
don't. I don't usually out myself as a Californian though,
Well, I don't
but
I don't know. I mean, everyone's the same. I mean, if you're from one state or whatever region, yeah, I mean, everybody's the same. You have good people, bad people everywhere. So, you know,
yeah, I
uh,
think they're. I think Texans though are a little upset about Californians coming out and raising, um, making the cost of living go up.
right, right,
So
right, right. Which I can understand that. Um, so so you're 40. How old did you say you are?
47.
47. So you're just a young spring chicken. I'm 50, gonna be 55. So you're just a
Oh,
youngin. um,
I'll take it.
so the first thing I guess that we really get into is what's your favorite comic book, either series or individual issue or whatever. And also it usually ties together, but I'm kind of finding that it doesn't. Who's your favorite artist?
Gosh, right now my favorite comic book, and they just dropped a new issue. Finally, Headlopper. Love it.
Headlopper? I've never
Headlopper,
heard of
yeah.
that.
Oh man, you're missing
Who
out.
who makes it? Who does it?
Andrew. Oh my gosh, I'm gonna pronounce his last name.
Andrew
McLean,
McLean.
McLean.
Is
Andrew.
that like a indie thing?
Yeah. I mean, it's through Image. I
Uh,
think it started with a Kickstarter, and then he did like four issue runs of it, and now he's doing a biannual run or something like that. I don't know,
that,
but
that's cool. That's cool.
yeah, it's kind of cartoony, but also sword and sorcery, and
That's
very
cool. That's
very
cool.
violent, very
Yeah.
but also very funny. So
That's awesome. That's a great combination. Is sword and sorcery your favorite genre?
probably, I mean, right now it
Yeah.
is for her. Yeah. Um, yeah. Favorite artist, that would be hard.
Yeah. Yeah. A
One
lot
of
of a
the,
lot of people say
you
that.
know, because I mean, I can't single out one person, but I always loved John Buscema, Mike Allred, Eric Larson.
Is there anyone that when you first started drawing were you like oh, I'm really going to try to, do my stuff after him?
Well, Todd McFarlane was the first artist I knew knew his name and was
Yeah,
like
yeah,
super jazzed about. Yeah, yeah. And then very shortly after, because he followed him on Spider-Man, was Eric Larson. So
yeah, yeah, yeah. That's
those
cool.
two really,
Um,
really got me going.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. I remember. I specifically remember. Well, no, because I was really into the Hulk McFarlane stuff, so I just kind of followed him, and that's kind of how I always got different comics. Was I would follow the artist, whatever artist I liked, like John Romita Jr. I would just always follow. If he was doing. If, I think he went to Spider-Man after the X-Men. I would, hop on that title just because that's the way I did it. So were you like a when did you start getting into comics? How old were you?
7. I don't
So
know.
you were even younger.
Oh yeah, I would get them off the spinner rack at 7-Eleven.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. That's cool. That's awesome. Um, so what about your artistic um education? Have you gone to art school or anything like that?
Yeah, I majored in art in college, although I kind of veered more. I ended up veering more towards graphic design, which is related to what I do now
Yeah.
for a job. But yeah, but that was pretty much the extent of it
Where
of
did
my
you go?
education. Where did I go? Humboldt
Yeah,
State. I think it's Cal Poly on Humboldt State now, but
yeah.
or but yeah, Humboldt State up in the redwoods in California.
That's cool. That's cool. So you're a graphic designer now?
Hmm. Hmm.
Um,
Yeah.
do you how do I put this? Is it how closely fulfilled are you to it compared to doing comics or other stuff like that?
Mm, comics are definitely more fulfilling, for sure.
Yeah, yeah.
Um, yeah. I mean, right now I'm more of like a production guy, make sure stuff's ready for print. So
Right, right, right.
that's
Because I
kind of
mean,
my area.
you have so many people that they get an art job, an art job, and it's like it's definitely an art job, you're doing something in the arts, but then it's maybe not the exact thing that you really like. If you're an art, you kind of have a part of your soul that wants to do what you want to do and be fulfilled in that way. And but it's like if you were a comic book artist and you couldn't find any work penciling, would it be fulfilling enough to be a letterer, or something like
Yeah.
that?
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. Um, yeah. I mean, my job's fulfilling, but definitely there's a reason why I do comics at night.
Right, 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 definitely. And how long have you been doing comics?
As long as I could draw, really. But I mean,
Yeah,
for this last serious push has been about a decade now. Yeah.
yeah, yeah.
Because I would say it started with Planet Slammer, which I think I started in 2016. So yeah, about a decade.
Do you have that in print or anything?
I have a couple issues laying around, but I've
Right,
actually been thinking about putting that into a trade more
right,
recently
right,
instead of
right.
reprinting it.
Yeah, yeah. That's definitely one of the things I definitely wanted to talk about to you about is because a lot of times I see your stuff is like sold out on your website or whatever. Um, like when you sell out of something, do you just reprint it the same way, or do you consider that like a volume two or something like that?
I mean, like a second print.
Yeah, or like the second printing or whatever.
Uh, yeah, yeah. Like I'll mark it as a second print, just and
Yeah,
I might change a couple things. Usually, if there's something I need to fix, or
right.
for example, like the Soraya that you have there, that's the
Yeah,
final cover. But there was a red cover, there was a black cover, there was a cover with a different logo. I
yeah,
really,
yeah.
I went through it with that one, but I eventually
Yeah.
landed on that blue background because it popped more on my
Yeah,
rack.
oh,
At
definitely. It
once.
definitely it's super nice. And the red outlining is super nice.
Mhm, mhm,
Yeah, I always wonder about that because whenever I'm like printing and stuff, like I recently ran out of my supply of a certain glossy paper for random access, so I have to kind of
mhm.
switch it over. So I'm like, should I put that as a different, but I don't think that like as indie creators and as indie followers and collectors and stuff, I don't do you think people care about that kind of thing, second printings or like is that just a
Nah,
mainstream kind of thing?
I don't think it matters. I'd like to
Yeah.
keep things perpetually available.
Yeah.
Um, yeah, I mean, I'm combining a lot of single issues, like Soraya. I just came out with that trade,
Yeah. Yeah.
and and then um, and then possibly doing the Planet Slammer one. I think it makes more financial sense.
Yeah. Yeah.
Um, and yeah, it's just yeah. I don't want to, especially now because prices are going up on everything. The single
Yeah.
issues
Yeah.
are getting kind of expensive to do.
Yeah. Yeah, definitely. Um which also like um you go the route of buying issues and then selling them like on your website or cons or whatever. Do you have stuff on like what's the print on demand? Is that Lulu or is that can't
Oh,
remember. Or any of the other
uh,
print on demand places? Like what do you
like
think of
Nixon
that?
or
Yeah, yeah. What do you think of the business model of a print on demand versus printing them all up and then selling them piecemeal?
um, I don't have a real strong opinion about that. I mean, whatever works for the individual. I think.
Right, right.
Um, Mix them. I know. I think they just changed though. I think they updated. I haven't looked since because I got an email from them that said they updated their POD program.
Right,
So I
right.
don't know, but like the thing is with them, it's if you order, even if you're ordering from the same, you know, page,
Yeah.
every each item you have to pay shipping on, and then
Yeah, yeah.
they still come together. So
Right, yeah.
yeah, so that's and I think I get why they had to do that, but that's not cost effective for the customer
Yeah,
or
yeah.
not
I
the customer, but the reader. I shouldn't say
yeah,
customer.
yeah.
That sounds very businesslike.
Yeah, yeah. It's so difficult because I know that readers, collectors or whatever of indie comics, they understand like if you're buying an indie book, it could be $10, whereas if it
Hmm.
was produced by, Marvel or DC, whatever, it might be $5, which is still too expensive if you ask me. $5 for a comic book is just, crazy. But that's a
Yeah,
rant for another time.
yeah,
So I know people understand because you're ordering things at such a lower quality that a quantity that I really think people understand that. But at the same time,
yeah,
I think keeping costs as low as you can definitely helps. So,
yeah, yeah. I think it's
um,
about trying to find like a happy medium, maybe.
yeah, yeah, definitely. So your pen name, if you will, is Mattchee. Where did that come from?
Well, you know my name, right?
Yeah, yeah.
Matt
So,
G. Matt G. Matt
ah,
G.
I'm an idiot. That
Well,
totally
it's
makes
not
sense
obvious.
now. That totally makes sense. That's awesome. I'm an idiot. Um, so
So
that
yeah, you know what? I thought I was being smart and making something unique for people to be able to search and whatever. But
yeah,
also people call me Machete
yeah,
and Mister Chi and things like that. So,
yeah, yeah, yeah.
eh,
That's cool. All right,
but
so
I'm sticking with it. But go
yeah,
on.
yeah. It's definitely it's definitely a good pen name or whatever. Even though I totally didn't 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 get flew way over my head. Um, So, I guess the biggest thing I'm kind of starting to ask artists and creators, um, and I hadn't previously because I don't know, I kind of tried to keep things a little bit lighter, but I kind of really want to know, as an artist and as a creator, what you're trying to um, get across in your artwork, either in your stories or in your art in general. Is there like an in-depth kind of thing that you're trying to convey?
Nothing too deep, but yeah, you know what? I just try and like give myself cool shit to draw. Can I say
Yeah,
shit?
yeah.
I said shit. But yeah,
That's
no, I'm just trying to, it's some. I just hope it's fun to read, and I give people like, you know, an escape for a little
yeah,
while
yeah, yeah,
because that's what comics were for me, was an
yeah.
escape. So I'm just trying to pay it forward a little bit, I guess.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. I think when like comic books are so labor intensive, like they just take so long.
Hmm.
Like you can be on a page for like 2, 3, 4 days, whatever, and you're just, there by yourself with your thoughts. And like when I'm creating, I'm trying to put all of the knowledge that I've gained and put it into the storyline at the best that I can. But also, I kind of feel like I'm trying to. It's a little bit like you said, where you're trying to pay it forward, as far as trying to get somebody to enjoy themselves while they're reading your stuff.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, I mean, if you're looking for something like Watchmen, don't probably not my comics.
Yeah. No, you don't think so? Do you think you have a more well, why do you think that? Why do you think that?
Well, I'm just saying it's not super deep. I'm not saying my comics are shallow, but
Right, right.
it's just
Yeah, yeah.
they're for fun.
Well, I mean, like I love sword and sorcery just like, everybody. And I don't think
Exactly.
I don't think how deep something is genre specific. I think whatever you
True.
put into it
Yeah,
is
true.
is is what you're gonna try to get into it. And so is I always mess her name up. How do you say her name again? Sora? Sor Soraya?
Soraya.
So
Soraya.
so Soraya. Do you have a lot of people asking you exactly how you pronounce that? Or just me?
Yep.
Or is
Just like
that
my
just
own
me?
name.
Where did she is she your would she you say she's your marquee character?
Yeah,
Yeah.
definitely.
Where did she
Definitely.
come from?
You know, it's kind of funny because like after I finished Planet Slammer, I was just kind of like farting around doing mini comics and just kind of not really having a direction.
Yeah.
And I was I just started drawing her, and I kept drawing her over and over. And so then I was like, well, I better put her in a story or something. So then I was
Yeah.
and that original story was supposed to be like a 6-page like mini comic. I wasn't really too invested in it. And then it just kept going and going and going. And then I was like, oh, I have a whole issue here. And then next thing you know, she's like my main squeeze,
Yeah. Yeah, was she
comic
s
wise.
was she supposed to be in an anthology or something that you were working on?
Uh, no, it was like going to be like a mini comic, you know,
Yeah,
like well, actually, this is kind of like a proto version of her.
yeah, a
Like it was going to be
prototype.
something like this. Like this was an old mini comic I did, which was just kind of like a barbarian
Yeah,
um 6-panel gag but ongoing story kind of thing. And
yeah,
so I was just doing a few of those kind of things just to like keep myself entertained and maybe have something extra to put on the rack at cons. And uh it just grew. It grew from there.
yeah, 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 that's cool. It's cool how, things can evolve. When I've the random access that I'm working on started, like you said, as a mini comic that I was just gonna 6 pages I was gonna give to patrons or whatever while I was doing my other
Mhm.
real stuff, and it just kind of grew and changed and evolved, and it's funny how some stuff like that can just change over time. Um, so how many issues of Soraya do you have?
Uh, 4 issues. 4
4 issues.
issues.
Do you have more in mind?
Yep, yep. I'm 13 pages into inking like a 50-ish page one shot. That'll hopefully it'll be done by fall or winter.
Yeah, yeah. Yeah, that's cool. It's, you seem to have, like, a lot of different, characters and stuff, um, like
Mhm.
your Galaxy your Sorcery Wars and your, stuff like that. I have a lot of characters, and sometimes I feel like, I've abandoned my children if I haven't, gone back to them. Do you ever feel like that?
Um, I don't know if
No?
I feel like I've abandoned children, but I think I
That
read
might be
I think I read
extreme.
an interview with Frank Miller one time where
Mhm.
he talked about you know characters as like taking the action figures out and
Yeah,
out of the
yeah,
toy box and playing with them. So yeah, my other characters are just in the toy box waiting to be
yeah,
played with.
yeah,
So
yeah.
because I'll
That's
come
cool,
back to
that's
them.
cool.
Yeah,
Yeah, yeah.
hopefully.
Mine, I always feel like I've left them mid-story because for some reason I can never really finish a story. It's in my brain to always have a cliffhanger at the end of a comic book so that it'll just go on forever. So I always feel like, oh, I left my character in a cliffhanger. I got to get back to that. Um, so you're part are you're part of the Power Pulp guys? Are you a part of that?
Yes, yes, I am.
Um, so I'm working my way through you guys.
Okay.
Because I had Chris Anderson and Matt. They're
Oh,
great guys. On
yeah, they're awesome.
what's your yeah, they are great. What's your role in the Power Pulp machine?
I I I run the Discord.
That's cool.
that's
That's cool.
that's that's
I
my
didn't
that's
know
my
there was
main
one.
job
Yeah,
outside of
yeah,
making comics and yeah, and I just
right.
try and you know be ground support,
Yeah, yeah,
promote everything, repost
yeah,
everything.
yeah, yeah,
Yeah,
yeah. Um,
especially because Matt puts so much time into those into the social media posts. So I try
yeah,
and
yeah,
signal boost
yeah.
those. Yeah.
Yeah, and that kind of social media is so hard, because, like, you do one post and that's cool and that's great, but it's those, that 5th and 6th and 7th post of the same kind of thing that you're like, "Oh, I must be bugging people by now,"
Yeah. Yeah.
which, you know which kinda leads me into another thing of your own work. How do you think, um what do you think your I don't know how to say this. When you're thinking about marketing a new book or some of the stuff that you're working on, what is what's your thought process on where to start and what different ways you can promote your book?
That's the question, isn't it?
Yeah, that is definitely the question.
I wish I knew what I was doing. um, yeah, I kind of take a different approach every time. I think I probably don't market myself as much as I should.
Yeah,
Um, I'm hoping to do a Kickstarter for this new
cool, cool.
Soraya book.
Yeah,
So that'll spin itself into a bunch of social media posts and stuff.
yeah,
So hopefully that I don't know. I haven't done a Kickstarter in a long time.
yeah, yeah.
So we'll see how that goes. How did your kick? You just did a Kickstarter, right? For
Yep,
I'm going to
yep.
pronounce it wrong, but
For
yeah,
for Morgram. Yep, for Morgram.
yeah. I got an
Yeah,
awesome
I
statue.
yeah, yeah.
I
Thanks.
can't believe you
Um,
sent those out.
Yeah, yeah, it was a lot of work. I probably bit off more than I could chew on that, but made it through it. Um, but yeah, yeah, Kickstarter is it's definitely not. I wouldn't categorize it as fun, but when you get into that groove of enough people hopping on, and it's almost like you're gaining energy and momentum as the days kind of tick away. For me, it's also super stressful because, every day that it's not fulfilled, I'm like, oh, am I gonna be able to complete this? And are people enough people gonna like it so that I can, send it out? So I'm always super stressed on those kind of things. Do you get stressed when you put out a new book and you're trying to put it out there into the world?
A little bit, yeah, yeah, yeah. That Sorcery Wars didn't hit as hard as I had hoped. Um, but I don't know. I don't
Yeah,
know what to say
yeah,
about that.
yeah, yeah,
It's probably probably on me a little bit from a marketing perspective, and I don't know. Uh, I that one I did post a lot of pictures of as I was making it, because it was at a weekly strip, but
yeah, yeah,
I
yeah,
don't know.
yeah, yeah.
I don't
No,
I don't I don't I don't I don't stress too hard about it, but yeah, it's
yeah,
it's it's tough, especially because, like you said, you know, comics take so much time
yeah,
and so much work on your own, and then finally you're like, oh, I'll present this to the world, and then
yeah,
if it doesn't land kind of how you hope, then
yeah. Exactly, exactly, exactly.
well,
And like you
it's a
said,
bit crushing. But
yeah, 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 definitely. I definitely don't think though that it is. Um, it's not. It's never the quality of the work. Um, I think because which kind of leads me into what I wanted to talk about next was that when you put something out, no matter how it's perceived, or when I put something out, um, I kind of almost get I wouldn't say depressed, but I would definitely say I'm feeling a little bit low compared to before I'm about to bring put something out, you know what I'm saying? It feels like there's like an up and down emotion of creating comic books, putting comic books out, printing, selling. It's like an emotional roller coaster for me anyway.
yeah, I could see that
Yeah,
definitely.
yeah.
Um, yeah, why do you think that is? I mean,
Well,
when
be
you put it out, you
well,
know, that's a low.
I think some of it is also like um time of year. Which is it sounds really bizarre, but, like, comic books are kind of a summer thing because all the conventions are going on, and I almost feel
Hmm.
like there's an excitement in comic books, like, people feel it at the same time. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Um, so I don't know if doing Kickstarters only during the summer or releasing your books only during the summer or, like I pushed Borgrim back. I was gonna release it in on Kickstarter in December, but then I was like, well, people are gonna be, spending all their money on Christmas or holidays or whatever. So I was like, I want to avoid that at all
Mm.
costs. So that's why I went after that.
All
Do you
right.
think of
Now
is
I got
that
to
what you
rethink
think
my
about?
strategy. Because I was planning for like probably a winter Kickstarter, so maybe not. Maybe I'll push it till next year
Well,
and
I
do
don't
something
know
else.
if I yeah, yeah, I don't know if I'm right or wrong. Do you think that, like, is winter better because people are cooped in their houses, so they need to read their comics? Or, how do you feel about that?
I don't know. I rely on anecdotal um, feedback from people, or like you just told me, you think that winter's hard. So now I'm like, is winter hard?
Well,
But that's
I
the only
don't
way I would know because I would have I don't I haven't. I don't think I've released a book in every single month of the year, So
Right,
I
right.
don't know.
Yeah, yeah.
I don't know, but
Yeah,
yeah, for indie comics, it is kind of like a one-time purchase, or not like a one-time purchase, but like it's not like the big two have Wednesday Warriors who come out every week and buy
right.
whatever they
Yeah,
put out, you know. So
yeah,
that is something to consider. So
yeah, yeah,
dang,
definitely. I
now I'm
even,
really
I
thinking.
even, yeah, yeah. I even asked Matt King's advice because I released I don't have it here with me. Yeah, I do. My Weird Tales Detectives, and I just put that on my website, and I haven't really pushed it all that hard. But I asked Matt King's advice, like, what day do you think is the um, best time to launch? Because I kind of thought, him being in with you guys at the Power Pulp and
Hmm.
all that stuff, you know, he
Hmm.
might have some kind of knowledge about that. He was saying Tuesdays. He thought Tuesdays was probably the best, which I can kind of understand that. Um,
Hmm.
but just yeah, figuring out all of this stuff is part of doing our comics. So yeah,
Yeah, yeah, it's a lot of trial and error. It's just kind of a big thing to do trial and error with, but yeah, but
yeah,
that's why we stay in touch. You know, as creators, we like to talk to each other because
yeah,
um, we've kind of figured this stuff out.
yeah,
So,
yeah.
which maybe it's self fulfilling. Like if Matt says it's better on Tuesdays, everybody releases everything on Tuesdays. People expect everything to be released on Tuesdays.
Yeah, yeah,
I don't
yeah,
know.
yeah, yeah. And then maybe it's like too overcrowded, so maybe, Friday's better. I don't know. I always thought
Yeah,
figured when weekends. I was like, oh, it
weekends.
must be weekends, but I have no idea. Um, but yeah, I mean, it might be like you said. You got your Wednesday Warriors, which I definitely was a Wednesday Warrior for like the longest time. Maybe it's like an excitement because I every Wednesday was like Christmas for me, and so
Yeah.
maybe that's like an excitement that translates to indie comics somehow. I don't know. Um, so you're part of the indie comics
Hmm.
um group.
True.
Um, would you consider yourself the leader of that group, or is it
No,
definitely everybody is
I think it's everybody, but I print the zine, so
yeah,
and
yeah,
I edit it. So yeah,
yeah. How many of those have you guys made?
four. I think we're working on the
Four.
fifth one now. Yeah,
Well, that's cool. That's cool. That's awesome. Um,
yeah.
like when the thing about indie comics and the thing we were part of before that,
Hmm.
Jesus, I can't remember what it was called now.
Toilet,
Undie
toilet comics, man.
toilet. There we go. Um, and I think here's one of them. Um,
Oh yeah.
I loved all you guys. I thought everybody was really fantastic. But there's definitely a certain maybe a bigger portion um where I felt a little bit like I didn't belong there as because there were so many um humorous cartoonists,
Hmm.
and
Hmm.
like how do you like do you consider yourself part of the humorist um subsection or whatever, or is it that doesn't even matter at all?
Um, I think I like doing humor when I can. Um, I think for me though, it's like stuff really has to align for me
Yeah,
to do
yeah,
something that's funny. Yeah, I mean, other than like the zingers or whatever that are in throughout all my comics, like.
right.
But yeah, I mean, the couple things I
Yeah,
did for Toilet, I think hit for me at least. But I can't. I don't know. I can't. Humor is something I can't force. It just has to like kind of
I suck at humor.
Um,
I'm the worst. But in real life, in like my regular life, I feel like I'm kind of a funny dude. But like
mhm.
when I try to draw something funny or think of a funny, like this thing here that you did for toilet here, the Cannibal Sorority 7. That's hilarious, you know. But I just don't know. Humor has just always eluded me whenever I've tried, and it's very frustrating. Was there a sorority? Was there a cannibal sorority? Is that like a movie series or anything?
No, I just figured if if there was a cannibal sorority movie series, which there may be, I never even looked into it, but there would probably be at least 7 of them. So
Yeah, yeah, there definitely would be. I mean, I love this. This is fantastic. It's just like I I don't know. It's just awesome. So my vote is you
yeah,
do some more do a Cannibal Sorority 8, I
all
think.
right.
Um
But yeah,
so
I grew up reading Mad Magazine, so
yeah,
that's kind of like the mentality I try to take when I approach those.
yeah, yeah, definitely. Um So what else are you working on? You have the Indie Comics Patreon, um, and do you have people um, submitting for that regularly? I know Jamie's doing the strip. Is that a daily strip?
It's weekly. Everything on there is
Weekly,
weekly.
weekly. Yeah,
So we have that. We have we're still running Chris Knox's.
yeah, I know, I know.
And
I
that's almost done though. And then
Yeah,
that's been going for like years, I think.
yeah, yeah. He sent it to me, and he's like, "You want to print this out?" And I'm like, "Dude, this is like 200 pages. Then you're
Yeah.
gonna eat up all my ink and all my paper." So, so I mean, I would like to print it out sometime because I love his work. But I mean, that's definitely not like a I don't know if we did it in like serializing it or something. I couldn't put a book like that together. That's just too many pages
Yeah,
for me.
it would have to be like perfect bound and
Yeah,
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 'cause that's
yeah,
yeah, it's huge. That guy's great,
yeah.
and I just his arts just makes me laugh.
Me
Do
too.
that, and then we
Makes
have
me
oh, I just want to make sure and shout out Grimothy Ripper.
Yeah,
Um,
yeah, he's
it's
great. He's fantastic.
he does a ton of stuff for the Patreon, and I'm just rerunning Galaxy Brigade right now. Although I may pull off a weekly strip. We'll see if I can find the energy and time.
Have you ever done a daily strip?
No, the most I've done is like twice a week, I think.
Yeah, yeah. I highly encourage doing a daily strip, at least for however long you can do it. It's a grind. Like I was doing the People of Andor. I think I did that for like 2 months maybe, and it is you learn a lot. You learn a lot from it, just, storytelling and all of that stuff. And also just like sticking with something of that kind of thing. So I would wholeheartedly recommend trying it out, a daily strip.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So when you do that, do you like plan out a week and then do all the
I
art, or
Yeah.
do you just every day you do a strip?
Well, I what I because well, mine was based on Ben Mara's, not based on it, but inspired by Ben Mara's what we mean by yesterday. Have you ever seen that
Oh
on
yeah,
Instagram? Yeah,
yeah.
yeah. So I mean, the technique was like super simple, and that's why I was like, I could do this on a daily basis. This kind of a super simple drawing style and stuff. But yeah, I got like I think I got a week and a half or 2 weeks ahead of time with my story, but then, yeah, it creeps up on you because you're doing it, and then you're like, "Oh, well, I'll miss today because, I gotta bring the kids to,
Yeah.
band camp or some goddamn thing." And then so you're missing a day here, you're missing a day there, and then eventually you're like, well, now I gotta crank these out as much as I can. And that's when the stress really starts to hit you. But it's
Yeah,
still a fun thing, still a fun exercise.
I might have to give it a shot. Damn,
I, I, de-
that's
I
a
definitely,
that's got to be a grind though.
it is,
Really,
it is.
really. But I might give it a shot. We'll
Yeah,
see.
yeah. Um, so you were talking about sorcery wars. Do you have more of these in store, in planned out?
I'm not sure. I kind of go back and forth on whether I want to do more of that or not, and if it'll be like in that strip format or if it'll be like a full comic page or
Right,
what. So
right.
um, I ended that as to be continued, but kind of like you were saying, like it was just the nature of serialized comics. So I just didn't want to
Yeah,
like be like, oh, the end, you know.
yeah,
So
right,
I
yeah.
ended it on a cliffhanger. So I can definitely go back to it if I want to. That might be the subject of my new weekly strip if I make one.
That'd be cool. That'd be
It
cool.
would either be that or Planet Slammer. So
Yeah. When you're choosing whatever you're going to be working on next, how much of the decision process is dependent on how popular you think other people are going to perceive it?
I don't know. I think I kind of just do what I want
Yeah, yeah,
or what's you know. Although I figure people want more Soraya. That's why I'm working on Soraya
yeah,
now. But
yeah, yeah,
um, I'm just kind of trying to like also. I don't know when you have a bunch of characters and you're just one guy. It's tough because the time between things coming out is so
yeah,
long
yeah, yeah.
that uh I don't know. I just want to keep it fresh in people's minds.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. It's like you said, it takes so long to do it. Like a full size comic book for an indie creator like us could be, it's not a month. It's not you're not putting a comic out every month. Like 4 or 5 months or whatever like that. So yeah, it's like it's such a balance between um putting out too much content and I think people becoming numb to it and putting out
Hmm.
not enough and people forget about you.
Yeah, yeah. So yeah, I don't know. That's another one I need to find a solution for.
Yeah, yeah,
You're
yeah. We
pretty
have lots
prolific
of we have
though.
lots of problems. Lots of
You're
problems with
pretty
indie
prolific.
comics.
Yeah, yeah.
Um, so because I've been writing these questions down, and this is like I've just started writing questions down for people I'm been interviewing for like the last couple times, and
Mhm.
it helps a little bit. But here's one. Where do you find yourself? Where do you see yourself creating comics in the next 5 years or so, or 10 years, 5 or 10 years?
At the drafting table. uh,
You you don't see yourself quitting your job and being supported by comic books.
that would be nice. I mean, I think that's what we all want, right?
It really is. Do you think
You
that's
know.
possible for you?
Um, I'd say I'm not too close now.
Yeah.
So, but I'd like to. So I'm gonna keep pushing. And um, worst case, I'll retire, and then I'll have all kinds of time to work on comics, and I can put them out
Right.
monthly and do the
Right.
daily
Right.
strip. You know.
Right. Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
So we'll see.
So how?
We'll see. I
Yeah.
mean,
Yeah.
I don't. I'm not. I don't really measure success on sales, but I would like to be able to just focus on the comics.
If is well, how do you measure success? Do you measure it by if you could make a living on it, would that be successful?
Yeah.
And if you can't,
Yeah,
does that
yeah,
mean
yeah.
you're not
Just
success?
a meager living would be fantastic, you know.
Yeah,
But for me, it's like, when you're at a convention and the person comes up and they said, "Oh, you got the new issue of Soraya out? I need to grab that one." So
yeah, yeah,
they've already bought and read one
yeah,
before and they're coming to buy
yeah.
another one. That's great. That's the best feeling.
It
For
really
me.
is. And that is, I mean, that's a measure of success right there. Whether or not you sold one issue or 10 issues or 1,000 issues, just anybody laying down their hard-earned money for your comic book is a huge success. Like I said, even if it's just one. Um, do you like doing conventions?
Yeah, yeah. Um, Depending on the convention.
Yeah,
I
yeah,
don't. I really only do indie comic book focused conventions now.
yeah,
Um,
yeah,
I kind of stopped doing the pop culture ones. Those ones can get a
yeah,
little depressing.
yeah.
You
Yeah, we've
know,
talked about that in the chats before. Um, Why do you
yeah,
think that is? You would think that there would be so many people that the bigger ones that you would get some sort of overflow.
because they're not there for comics. They're
Yeah,
there.
yeah,
They're there. They've already. They've already spent $50 or whatever to get in. They got their
yeah,
20 to 40 to $100 set aside to go, meet XY celebrity. And
yeah,
then,
yeah, yeah,
you know,
definitely.
and then, yeah, they're surrounded by pops and all this stuff. It's like so to get them to take a chance on a unknown comic when they don't
Yeah,
even
yeah,
probably read comics.
yeah, yeah, yeah. Do you think do you think you also need to be like aggressively selling? Like like yelling out, "Hey, buddy, check out my comics," or something like that? Or do you think even if you're super aggressive that it wouldn't matter?
I don't know. I'm kind of a shy person, so
Yeah, yeah, me too, me too.
yeah, I'm not that aggressive, you know.
Yeah, yeah,
Hey, you know, but I there probably is something to it because this last convention I was at, the guy next to me, he grabbed everybody and he said, "Hey," he had free pins, free
yeah,
buttons,
yeah,
and
yeah.
he would call everybody over to get a free button and then do his pitch, and he would like hit every single book.
Wow,
So yeah,
yeah,
so yeah, for me, it would probably I gotta like get a script or something because I heard that guy say the same thing like over and over and
yeah,
over again.
yeah.
So
Yeah.
which
I I think it's just something that you have to work at. You have to try because like you said, I'm super shy and
yeah,
it wasn't until I started door dashing that I kind of got over my shyness because I was forced to, deal with people in a um aggressive, not aggressive, but being not shy to make any money doing it. So it was, I kind of forced myself to do it, and it becomes easier and easier and easier. And I think that there's a ton of creators that are in the same boat. And I mean, how can you not be an artist and be focused on doing your art 8 hours or 7 hours, whatever, however long you're doing it, even 1 hour, and not be some sort of introvert,
yeah,
I think.
yeah. Well, because they spend so much time by yourself
Yeah, yeah, in so much time inside
when
your
you're
own
all
head.
awkward and weird when people are around.
Right, 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 right. Yeah,
So
yeah, yeah,
yeah,
definitely.
well, I'm trying to
Well,
do more like things like this that helps me. I'm hoping will help me
yeah,
open up.
yeah. Especially when you do your Kickstarter, you should try to hit every single podcast you can. And
Yeah.
because even it doesn't matter if, 10 people watch the podcast or 100 people or however many, it's still new eyeballs, different, and you were saying you run the Discord for Power Pulp. When I
Hmm.
was doing my Kickstarter and I had the thing at the end, the survey was how'd you learn about this? And like they were like, a couple were from YouTube, a couple well, a lot for mostly from Instagram, but some were from podcast and some if you mix it all together, I think, you can kind of come up with something.
Yeah. Yeah, exactly. So
Yeah.
that'll be that'll be a test for my shyness for sure.
Yeah. Yeah.
Um yeah.
Definitely. Definitely. Um so
Being shy right there.
yeah, yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
Um so I guess we're pretty much at our hour. Um So, like you were saying, your next thing is more Soraya.
Yeah. Yep. Although now that I'm second guessing this winter Kickstarter, maybe not, but probably.
Well, I wouldn't. Don't listen to me. I'm just throwing things out there because I don't know. I don't have the answers either. So I would
No.
say if you get it done because like the first couple Kickstarters that I did, or the only two Kickstarters I've done, it really like I was almost shaking as I hit the button to release it out into the Kickstarter universe. So I think that whenever you get it done and you feel confident enough to do it, you should do it because if you're waiting for that perfect time, there's never really going to be a perfect time.
Yeah, you're
I
right.
think I
You're right.
you have to make it perfect. You know,
Yeah.
you,
Yeah.
you have to
You're right.
create that energy.
You're right. But
Yeah.
yeah, there's a thing though. I have like when I'm done, I want it out in the world and on to the next thing. And
Yeah. Yeah.
Kickstarter is definitely not that. So um
Yeah. Yeah. But
yeah.
although you have like, there were a couple people that I asked how they found out about it, and they said they were looking through Kickstarter, and that's how they stumbled upon it. So, and also as Matt King was saying, really creating an email list is one of the huge things that you should do. Which
Yeah, that's something I need to start doing. I probably should, not start my campaign right now, but start preparing for the campaign right now.
yeah, yeah,
That's something I need to do. So yeah, I just you see a lot. You have a Substack?
no,
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 no. But I mean, like, so many people have Substacks and send out like these weekly emails, and it's like, how do you have time for all of that?
yeah, yeah, exactly.
You
Like I
know?
can barely keep up with my Instagram.
Yeah. And if I found time to write something, I would be so exhausted, I wouldn't know what to write. So,
Yeah,
mm,
yeah, yeah, yeah.
but I
I
do need
I
to
know
get a
exactly what's good.
yeah.
So, you guys at Power Pulp, you did original art sale thing, and you were selling
Mhm.
this, right? Did
Yeah.
you sell it? Did you sell it?
Yeah. First day.
That's awesome.
Yeah, I was
And
excited. I was
yeah, and you
worried that nobody was going to buy mine.
that's what I'm always thinking whenever I try to or even think about selling original art. Like, nobody's gonna buy this.
Yeah. Yeah. I was like, what if I'm like the one guy that nobody buys? But
Yeah, that's exactly how I would be. And that's really it's so hard to get out of that frame of mind of and into it's out of the frame of mind of am I good enough to sell this and into the frame of mind of I'm definitely going to sell this and I'm going to get what I want from it.
yeah. Yeah. You just got to put yourself out there, I guess.
Yeah. Yeah.
That's all there is to it, because
Yeah.
nothing's going to
Yeah.
happen unless you do. So,
Exactly. So much of um basically every success that you're going to have is going to be because of your own doing, you know. One way
yeah.
or another. It's you have these, I guess, superstar artists that are just so awesome that, they're gonna be successful no matter what, and I hate those people. But,
Mhm.
I'm not one of those people, so it's the amount of work that goes into the other stuff, I think, that is gonna bring any kind of success. I don't know if that's how you feel.
Yeah, yeah. Although I think everybody has. I mean, even these great artists that you're talking about, they all probably struggled to. You know, although some more than others, I guess. I don't know.
Yeah. Yeah,
I
I
don't know.
think
I figure, it kind of evens out for everybody. It's one way or another.
yeah,
But
I think I heard Jim Lee, like, was, um was declined at Marvel or DC or something the first time he showed something to somebody. They were like, "No, go back to work and try harder," or something. I don't know if that's true. So,
probably, but
yeah.
I mean, look at them now.
Yeah, yeah, look at him now. So, all right, cool. Awesome.
Cool.
Um, our hour's pretty much up, and, but
Okay.
thank you so much for joining me,
All
and,
right.
I'll have
Before we go, can I just plug one thing?
of course you can, of course you can,
I
I'd
just
love
want
you
to
to.
plug Jamie's book
Yep,
because there's a Soraya short in there,
yep,
and just what is it? At underscore just period Jamie underscore is his handle. Find the link to
yep,
get this.
yep, yep. You gotta love those people with all those underscores and all those weird weird things. But,
Yeah, he needs he. I don't want to criticize the guy, but
yeah, no, no,
but
it's just funny.
yeah, it would be nice if there was a concise way to plug this. But
Yeah,
sorry,
but
Jamie,
anyway, yeah.
I love you.
Yeah, it's definitely it's an awesome book. I think that's the one that I'm in.
You
Um,
in the second? Yeah, I think you are.
yeah,
Or
yeah,
are you in the second? No, yeah, you're in there.
yeah,
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 I haven't even had
yeah,
a chance
that's
to read this yet because I've been so
yeah,
busy. Oh,
yeah,
and
yeah,
there's Kurt Bruegel's
yeah,
piece.
yeah. Are
So
you in are you in the next Crom? Do you have stuff going in there?
Jamie's
Yeah, yep,
Chrome.
yep,
I'm gonna try.
yeah, yep. Yeah, yeah, um, do you try to I know that we said the hour was over, but I have this one last question. Do you try
Okay.
to do, like, anthology and then, like anthology and then, like, a solo book? You kinda try to balance those out, or do you just like, "Oh, whatever I'm gonna do, whatever I'm doing, I'm gonna do."
If there's an anthology I want to do, I'll just
Yeah,
kind of make the time to
yeah,
to 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 get it in there. Just because I think number one, they're fun to do a short story and
yeah,
and all that, and then two, it's just more getting my name out there. So
yeah,
you
yeah,
know,
yeah.
this one was a good
Alright.
opportunity because I could do Soraya, but
Yeah, yeah.
yeah.
That that's awesome. Awesome. Okay. Well, thanks a lot for joining me. And
No, thanks for
I'll
having
put
me.
yeah, yeah, anytime. I'll put all the links. I'll try to put all the links. I'm horrible at doing that kind of stuff, but I'll try to put all the links for all of your stuff so people can buy your books. And we'll be talking to you at some point.
All right, maybe when that Kickstarter happens.
Awesome.
All
Talk
right.
to you later.
Thank you.